Okay, so imagine, like, everyone, everywhere just gets each other. No language barriers, no more like, wait, what? Moments.
That's kind of utopian, right?
Totally. And, that's how things were, at least according to Genesis.
Ah, the book of Genesis,
Yeah.
specifically chapter 11, the story of the Tower of Babel, where, well, things get a little messy, linguistically speaking.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving deep into today, using excerpts from the King James Bible and Matthew Henry's commentary on it. 1710, that was.
That's right. We're going beyond the surface here, not just the story, but why it's still so powerful,
Hmm.
even after all these centuries.
Right. And Genesis 11, it starts with this, like, really striking image. The whole world speaking one language, unity, right?
Yeah, definitely unity. But think about it. Could too much unity be, I don't know, maybe a bad thing? Like, without different viewpoints, do we get stuck?
That's interesting. No disagreements, no debates, maybe no progress.
Exactly. Like in science, right? Arguments often lead to breakthroughs,
Yeah.
different perspectives, pushing things forward.
Thanks, you think. So the story goes on, right? These early humans, they're heading east, and boom, they find this plain in Shinar.
The land of Shinar. And they settle down, start building,
Uh,
using brick and slime, which, it's pretty resourceful for the time,
Shows they're figuring things out.
adapting, innovating. But then, well, their ingenuity kind of takes a, let's say, ambitious turn. Enter the Tower of Babel.
This is where it gets good. They want to build a city. Okay, fine. But then a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. That's a statement.
Oh, it's a statement, right? It's not just about height, right? It's about humanity's desire to, I don't know, make a name for themselves, maybe even reach for the divine.
Yeah, like challenging the natural order almost.
Exactly. And Matthew Henry, he kind of picks up on that. He's like, hold on, haven't we seen this before? Humans forgetting lessons, getting a little too prideful, like with the flood.
Right, right. And there's that line, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Like they're afraid of being scattered.
It's a fear of the unknown, but also a desire for control, maybe, like resisting what's supposed to happen, what's meant to be.
Hmm. So God sees all this happening, right? And his reaction is described in such powerful language. The Lord came down to see. Behold, the people is one. Nothing will be restrained from them.
There's awe there, definitely, but also a bit of worry. Although some interpretations say God's kind of concerned, like, what happens if humans, all united and powerful, achieve this? What's next?
I mean, throughout history, unchecked ambition, it has led to some pretty bad stuff.
No doubt about it. Matthew Henry points out that God lets things play out.
Yeah.
But to a point, there's a bigger picture, divine timing we might not get.
Okay, things are getting tense. So God, he intervenes, and the punishment, well, let's just say it's creative. He confounds their language. Suddenly, everyone's speaking a different tongue, can't understand each other. Can you imagine?
Total chaos, right?
Mm.
But think about it. Language isn't just words. It's how we think, our culture, who we are. Losing that shared language, it's more than just an inconvenience.
It's like tearing apart their unity right at its core. No
Yeah.
wonder they had to abandon the tower.
Exactly. And in a way, we're still dealing with that, even today. All these different languages, it leads to misunderstandings, conflict.
Which Matthew Henry points out too. He's like, hey, that confusion of tongues, we still got that. Not literally, but in how we communicate or miscommunicate.
Yeah, he was spot on about that. It's a reminder of how powerful language is. It can bring us together, but it can also tear us apart.
It's wild, right? They wanted to reach heaven, stick together, and boom, the opposite happens.
Yeah, total irony. They try to control everything, and it's like control slips right through their fingers, shapes history even.
And like the word Babel itself, it just means confusion now, right? Total mess. It's like a warning sign, about ambition gone wrong.
Exactly. Matthew Henry's all over that. He's like, yo, humans, remember the flood, pride, thinking you're hot stuff. It doesn't end well.
Right. Makes me think, even today, right? Unchecked ambition, it causes problems. Wars, messing up the environment, even with technology, going too far too fast.
Oh, yeah, big time. We still build those towers of Babel. Just not literally. Empires rise and fall. We chase tech we don't understand. Different ideas, fighting, not getting along.
So, okay, the story doesn't just end with everyone scattered, though. Genesis goes on, right? Talks about Shem, Noah's son, and then bam, there's Abram, who becomes like the Abraham.
People skip over that part, but it's important.
Yeah.
Connects Babel to everything that comes after.
Yeah.
God's plan still moving forward.
Like, okay, humans messed up with that tower thing, but I'm still here working with you.
Exactly. Abraham's story, it becomes the foundation for like tons of people, Jews, Christians, Muslims, all going back to
Huge impact.
Right. So even though Babel was a, a failure. In a way, there's this thread of hope woven through it all. We're still connected. There's still a plan.
Even when we try to do things our own way on our own terms, there's something bigger going on, redirecting us.
Now, stepping back a bit, looking to the bigger picture, Babel, it's not just a literal story. It's full of symbolism, metaphorical stuff.
So what do we take away from that? How does an ancient story about a tower, all that, apply to us, like, now?
For me, it's got to be about hubris, thinking you're all that, not seeing the consequences. We need wisdom, humility.
So ambition's not bad, but it needs, like, boundaries, responsibility.
Totally. Babel also shows us how powerful language is. It can unite us, help us understand each other, but it can also be used to, manipulate, divide.
Like all the time, right? Fake news, propaganda, hate speech. It's all about using words to cause trouble, break down trust.
For sure. We got to be careful how we use language, both personally and, out in the world. Are we building bridges or building walls?
It's like Babel's telling us, look in the mirror. How are you communicating? Are you creating understanding or just more arguments?
Yeah, powerful stuff. Babel, it's a big reminder. We need clear, honest communication. And, a little compassion wouldn't hurt either.
It's kind of crazy, right? This Tower of Babel story, it's like, it's happening right now. All that ambition, the communication breakdowns, it's everywhere.
It really does feel like it's holding up a mirror to us. So it begs the question, are we building towers of Babel today?
I mean, yeah, we've talked about what not to do, but what about the opposite? Like, if Babel's a warning, how do we, build a better future? What's the takeaway?
Well, one thing that jumps out is valuing diversity.
Right.
The scattering, it was a punishment, but it also led to, all these different cultures, ideas, ways of life. Kind of beautiful when you think about it.
Like, instead of trying to make everyone the same, we should be celebrating what makes us different, right? All those unique perspectives.
Totally. And with that comes empathy. Trying to understand people who aren't like us, seeing things from their side, building bridges, not walls.
Yeah, instead of just sticking to our own little bubbles, like, we got to talk to each other, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard.
Couldn't agree more. And I think Babel also shows us progress. It needs balance. Ambition's good, but we need humility too. Not giving up on what we want to achieve, but doing it wisely, ethically, remembering we're all connected.
So it's not just about what we build, but how we build it and who benefits, right? Are we bringing people together or pushing them apart?
Big questions, right? And Babel, it just keeps asking them through the centuries. Doesn't give us all the answers, but it makes us think about human nature, the choices we make as individuals, as a society even.
Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the Tower of Babel. Pretty amazing how this ancient story, it still has so much to say to us.
Yeah, it really is. So, as you go about your day, maybe you'll see those towers of Babel popping up around you and how we talk to each other, the systems we create, what we're striving for. And hopefully it'll inspire you to, use your voice, use your actions to build connections, not divisions.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you got some new insights, maybe even some new questions to ponder. Keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep building those bridges. See you next time.